business closings along Broadway in Manhattan is alarming city officials and residents. New report shows a big jump in the number of stores empty and boarded up.
This is the sad reality if you walk up and down Broadway. These are among the more than 300 that were recently counted on the entire stretch. Empty storefronts, for lease signs, roll cages down, posted letters announcing permanent closure. This is the landscape Manhattan residents take in as they walk up and down Broadway. 335 street-level vacant storefronts compared to 188 in 2017, a 78% increase in vacancies.
It doesn't make for a very inviting place. So it'd be great if landlords started negotiating with a more open mind and the new reality for retail.
I'm a person who don't like going online for anything, but it seems like you're being forced to.
My belief is that it's not binary. I don't think that as e-commerce grows, retail must die. I think that as e-commerce grows, physical stores must change, and that's entirely different.
But like the wise band Semisonic once said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Right now, we might just be at the beginning of a retail renaissance. The future of shopping is coming to us sooner than we realize, thanks to technological breakthroughs within the fields of artificial intelligence and robotics.
Agro, a revolutionary retail space, transforms your phone into a personal shopping assistant upon entry. With AI guidance, it navigates you through futuristic displays and interactive exhibits, turning shopping into an immersive experience. The app enables quick QR code scans, providing a wealth of information such as reviews, stock availability, delivery times, and more. Interactive displays offer virtual try-ons using digital mirrors and augmented reality, creating a playful exploration space. Say goodbye to shopping bags as the app seamlessly arranges doorstep delivery. Beyond shopping, Agro is a community hub hosting events, workshops, high-end dining, as well as quick bites. Tranquil green wellness areas offer retreats, and collaborative spaces foster creativity. Agro transcends traditional shopping, offering a holistic journey through innovation and collaboration, where the lines between e-commerce and community blur. Go for the presentation?
You can hit the Acrobat icon.
File. Open. There you are. Was it shoot?
Yeah.
And then view. Full screen.
Okay, so hello, my name is Maro Kapetani, and today I'll be presenting Metagora, which derives from the ancient Greek terminology meta, which means beyond, and agora, which was the first ancient Greek marketplace. So at one time, we know that the shopping experience was fully analog, and now it has become very much digital. So both have their positives and negatives, but my thinking was, what if we could combine the positives of both to create the new shopping experience of the 21st century? So the big question is, how can we bridge the online shopping experience with the physical shopping experience? So to better understand this, we need to understand our users. This space would mostly be for people of the ages 18 to 45, but our target market is the millennials. They're the ones that make up 40% of the workforce and would be able to afford a space like this, but also they're the ones that are technologically savvy and buy most of their products online. And of course, this space would attract New York City residents as well as tourists, since shopping is a New York City attraction. Some behavioral concerns of these millennials are that they value convenience and efficiency over experiences over material things. They are the first generation to grow up alongside technology, so they're very technologically dependent, and this does create a social disconnection as compared to other generations. So some ways to combat this through design. In the spaces I've used active design, experiential design, multi-sensory environments, and technology is infused in the infrastructure. since it is essential for the target market and to be able to stay relative to them. And the spaces that I will be presenting to you today is the sneaker customization department, which is Soul Spectacle. And the design theme concept here is inspired by a kind of laboratory type vibe. The men's attire department, Attire Alchemy, where there are digital try-ons and advanced technology to help you with your shopping experience. The Digital Discovery Den, which is a technological space which allows you to get immersed in the latest and most trending technology. For those looking for a moment of tranquility, the Terra Lux Retreat, which is a wellness area where you're around a nature-inspired environment. Gastronomy Gallery, which offers a luxury dining experience, as well as the last space inspired by jewels, geometry, and reflections. It's the Kaleidoscope Chamber, the jewelry department. A design concept that carries out throughout my throughout the infrastructure of the building is combining nature and technology, because we're trying to blend high technology with the natural tactile world, and we want to create a balance between these two, because at the end of the day we are designing for people, not robots. So the location of the site is Meatpacking District, a trendy area with cobblestone streets, luxury brands, restaurants, clubs, and more. The specific site is 415 West 13th Street in a 77,000 square foot building. It's this one right here. And around the site there are many attractions, things that attract residents of New York City as well as tourists, and I'm sure we've all been to most, such as Little Island or the Starbucks Reserve, Chelsea Market, the High Line, and Google is very close by. And something important to note is that my site has two accesses, one from 14th Street and one from 13th Street. Diving a little deeper into the existing plans that I received, something to note in these are that the lower levels have 6-foot windows, whereas the upper levels have a full height window, allowing for ample natural light. The ceiling height is 15 feet in all the levels. And as you can see, the placement of the fire stairs here are to the right. Those have stayed the same. I've kept those with an addition of one in this space as well, because I knocked down this wall to create a larger space on the ground floor. And just to get a little into the upper floors, because this section here stops at some point, the floors kind of gradually get smaller, creating balconies on some of the levels. So because of the scope of work that was so large in this area, it was very important for me to work with colors to kind of help organize the layout. But something very important to take into consideration are the blue parts on each of the plans, because those are voids in the floors. And this basically allowed for me to create the different kind of separation of each department. So as you see, there's a plane for the technology department, a different plane for the shoe department. But it does allow you to see across into other spaces, because these voids are covered with floor to ceiling height curved glass. So getting a little more into the plans that I developed, in our basement we have a large storage for all the departments, as well as small storages on each floor, which are usually somewhere around here, you'll notice. And basically the storage plays a large role, and I'll explain why soon, in the fashion area. This area here is for quick bites, maybe for passerbyers, or maybe the people from Google are on a lunch break. They can quickly come to grab a quick bite to eat or sit while they're taking a break from work. The space I'll just point here. The space here, this whole space is designated for fashion and accessories. And this side right here is the men's section. This is the women's section. And then in the middle, we have the changing rooms. On our second floor, we have the technology space, which is this plane right here. This one here is the art gallery. And the bottom one is the shoe customization. On the third floor, we have the luxury dining experience. Here we have the jewelry, the kaleidoscope chamber, and beauty and cosmetics. On the fourth and fifth floor, we have those wellness green areas. And then sixth and seventh floor is not open to the public unless there's a certain event that's being hosted for some reason. But these are areas where artists, professional artists and professional designers can come together and collaborate, create designs for the space, or design the spaces themselves when it's time for them to change. And then a very flexible open space on the 8th floor, which is an event space to host workshops, maybe even concerts or various different events. And that I placed on the rooftop because it has the full height windows on both sides, allowing for a very nice view of the city and the waterfront. So just to give a little explanation of how I decided to bunch all the stations together. As I said, the storage and the quick bites are in the basement. All these pink areas that you see are the actual retail spaces where you can purchase products. Here on the last part of this structure on the building is the restaurant. Consider the 4th, 5th, and 6th floor here as a wellness area, since we have those 2 green spaces and the gym on top, which can look down into the plants, and it just kind of creates this vibe of getting healthy, being active, and kind of immersing yourself in that. And then the 6th and 7th floor is where it accommodates for those professionals that are coming together to create designs, and then of course the event space that I mentioned. So going back to what was very important about kind of infusing technology and the natural tactile world, as well as the importance of those voids that I've created, is that I was inspired by these Vietnamese rice terraces, and I think that making planes like this not only allows and gives an opportunity for you to create curiosity from one department to the other when you look across, but also it kind of brings something more natural to the space, to a highly technological space. So in the section of the building, you might be able to see the cuts in the floor a little better. In the model, it shows quite well. But some are connected by little bridges, and there's these cuts. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but a very important part is there's a double bubble structured elevator, which goes up through the floors, up until the ones that are not for the public anymore. So that you're going through these voids, seeing all the different spaces as you go up, and it creates curiosity, and it also gives you this feeling like you're floating upwards, flying through the spaces. The general materials of this vessel where these departments will lie in is very simple. So if you were to look up this void, I've put this as an inspirational picture. It's just very simple white material covered by the glass around the voids for obviously safety purposes. And then this texture here, I put it because in the elevator, of course, you're going to have some type of structure. It cannot all be glass. So for the buttons, and just to give a sense of the mechanics that might be showing. Other than that, it's pretty plain, and what is supposed to be the experience are the products and what pops out. As for lighting, in almost all the spaces, they do all vary in concept. So one thing that does carry out throughout most of them is intricate lighting. So introducing the first space, which is the men's section of fashion and apparel. So just to explain here, as you come into the space on 13th Street, you have the racks on either side. And so, as mentioned in the video, the concept is that you scan by QR code the products that you're interested in. So there's no need in having large racks of the same product, like small, medium, large, let's say. So you kind of scan what you like while going through the space. And then there is a large round digital screen where you can virtually try on products that you were interested in, or just interact with the screen and try on different products. And then you could also do this in private, where you have the changing rooms, which is an interactive mirror here as you walk in. You can choose the products that you would like to try on. If you want to, you can try on all the products that the department offers. Once you narrow it down to the products that you actually like and you want to feel them on you, you want to see, do I really want to buy this? What is this actually going to look on me? This is where the technology comes into place, and where it is important that these spaces are over the storage, because basically this wooden wall behind the glass will move down with the products that you have chosen on the interactive mirror. Either machinery or people will hook them on what you chose, and then it'll reappear, come upwards again. And horizontally, almost like a horizontal elevator door, the two glass panels will part. There's a space above. I've left a lot of space for the panel, and the other would go into the basement, and you're able to grab the products, try them on, etc. So the flooring material here is this vinyl white flooring, which is quite durable for high traffic areas. We have the curtain texture there, the wood, and then a nice luxurious white marble with gray veins. Moving on to the next space is that shoe customization area, which is inspired by a laboratory type design. So the material which is most prominent here is a glossy white material, just to give that laboratory vibe, as well as the glass tubes that will run along the ceiling where shoes are displayed inside. We have like lit up plexiglass seating, just to give that kind of futuristic laboratory vibe. And then how this space actually works is, if you were to come out of the elevator, you're introduced to these tubes with shoes in them, so it's kind of intriguing. And as you come around the corner here, you come into this interactive laboratory hallway in a way. So you're able to kind of pick the shoes that you like, or you want to customize, interact with the screen, and then you're able to see them on your feet in this interactive mirror down below. In these middle vessels here will be the latest and most trending sneakers on the market, and possibly some very exclusive pieces which are not up for sale. And then there's two interactive displays, and then every two there's one live customization area where you can kind of see a shoe being customized at that moment by the robotic arms. So yes, the main materials here is the interactive screens, glass, the glossy white, the silver, and the interactive mirrors. So moving on to the next space, which is the digital discovery den. Here, the products are not actually purchasable, but it does allow for people to get immersed into the latest technology on the market. So the concept is, as you come into the space here, you're introduced to these curved screens which kind of engulf you in like whatever they're programmed to show at that time. And then as you go through this kind of like wire mesh. You'll see a rendering soon. A wire mesh with like very cool lighting to kind of introduce you to a futuristic world. To the right, there are hologram stations where, let's say, you would see the latest technology on like a hologram, and you would actually see what that looks like. To the left, you can play with gadgets on special seating. These two stations here are not just your normal VR where you put on the glasses and you're playing with, the hand pieces. You're actually on the machine and you can fully even run on this machine, and so you get the full experience. And then of course we have your VR stations here, where we do have those hand pieces. There's a screen in front of each VR station. Of course, when you have the goggles, you're the only one seeing what's happening, but I put the screen so that other people can see what each person is playing, what they're experiencing, and see if they want to try it out. And then something important about these spaces here, in the very interactive spaces, I put a track which also has technology such as things that would blow air on you to further enhance that VR experience, or blow out a mist if you're let's say in some tropical forest or something. And then I did incorporate, if you remember that large round screen on the fashion floor, is actually this skydiving simulation machine. So it basically blows out really hard upward air, which actually gives you the chance to kind of float, fly. So those are what are included in the technology space currently. And something to mention, of course, is that the whole floor is digital tile. And these are highly programmable, so everything could change. You could even program it, let's say, to make these waves, or even make it into a basketball court and do something else with the space after. So it's a flexible space. And this is this wire mesh entrance that I was talking about. The spaces are kind of segregated through the LED lighting, highly programmable. Again, if you put another display, they would you could kind of put borders around those. Yes, I think that was all for this space. Moving on to the gastronomy gallery, a totally different vibe, but this is the luxury dining restaurant. And basically it is adjacent to the jewelry department. So because that is highly reflective and a completely different vibe as well, we have put these slatted wood, which is uplit, to kind of create a separation. Here you would be greeted and asked about reservations, etc. But as you come into the space and you look to your left, you have the bar, and then the rest of the area is designated for the dining experience, the restaurant experience. And so the general vibe of this, I know it's day outside right now, this would be more of a night place to come into, but it's kind of natural textures, dark. I wanted kind of a candlelit, warm lighting glow, and create some warmth with the plants as well. There's antique mirror inside the coffering of the dark wood walls, and a lot of brass details, let's say here on the ceiling. They're also along the floor, on the tables, and they're found in various little areas. So moving to the jewelry space, the kaleidoscope chamber. This is a tricky one. I'm gonna try and explain it as best as possible. So if you were to come out of this elevator here, there are these little diamonds on the floor plan you see are kind of individual displays in place. But the big concept is along these walls are interactive mirror, and then this bubbly structure that you see outside of it is glass which follows the curve. And between the interactive mirror and the glass, you have your little bases where jewelry would be lying on top of. And the bases are lying on this nice material here, which is kind of like a shredded mirror. So this space, as I had mentioned, is all about reflections and kind of being a trippy place since it's inspired by a kaleidoscope. and you'll see it in the walkthrough. It is quite tricky to understand what's going on. Also, where you have those bases between the glass and the interactive mirror, there are these kind of triangular shaped chandeliers which come down. That's what lights this whole little storefront that you're gonna walk along. And as you walk along, you can try on virtually like necklaces, bracelets, earrings, everything that's displayed along that curvy path as you follow it. And then if you are actually interested in a product, you would end up in the kaleidoscope chamber, which is right here in the heart of the space. And this is if you actually wanted to try on a product that you really liked, with a luxury experience of champagne and everything, you would try on the jewelry and see if you would like to actually purchase it. So the materials are a glossy white on the ceiling. I've also chosen this light which creates kind of like waves, almost like water, and as it rotates, these watermarks kind of move. There is a polished steel floor, and it also goes along the floorboard of the storefront. The interactive mirror, which is behind the glass of course, the mirror shreds that we were talking about, and then this bubble couch, which will be in this durable white leather, which is in the sample books as well, but it's for high traffic areas. Moving on to the last space is the Terra Lux Retreat. This is a space where people can not only purchase the furniture, which is displayed, but it's mostly to kind of immerse yourself in nature. You could even just maybe come to the Metagora just to come to this space. You could take your book and sit and read, or just grab a friend, grab lunch from the basement and bring it up here and eat. And basically, it's the footpaths in this area are vinyl, and the rest is nature. And the materials are very simple. The columns are covered in this wood, and as well as the ceiling, vinyl flooring. And I think this rendering, probably, if not the walkthrough, you'll see it as well, but shows best the curved glass that kind of goes around these voids that I'm talking about in the building. So in other spaces, you could go right up to the glass and kind of look downwards across into a different space. And this concludes my presentation of Metagra, the future of the physical shopping experience.
Maro, who would you like to start?
I don't mind.
Stanley?
I've done a lot of retail.